Hey folks, if you know anything about Chain Magnate or Splatter games in general, you know that it's going to be tough and that it's entirely possible to make a move on the first round that's going to lose you the game. And you might not even realize you're making a mistake. Well, that's what I'm going to try and help you out with here. Now, this isn't going to be a comprehensive strategy guide. It's much more about getting you started on the right foot. So if you're interested in more in-depth strats, I'll put some links in the description box below. For now, let's get down to basics. One of the first things you do in this game is place your restaurant. And while that might seem like an easy choice, there are a few things to consider. Obviously, you want to be near as many houses as possible, so if there's a big clump of them, then yeah, try and fit yourself in there. But there are a couple other things that you need to look at. First off, where the drinks are, and second, if there are any isolated roads. For drinks, it's nice if you can get a path for your truck drivers and cart operators to pass by at least 2 distributors. And for the roads thing, sometimes it happens that a stretch of road is completely isolated from the rest of the city. So if 2 or more players have already put down restaurants in a hotly contested area, placing yours in a sparse but separated part of the map might be a better path for you. Okay, so the next few tips are just going to be opening plays, i.e. the cards that you should get and play in the first few rounds. Now, these aren't the only ones out there, and there's plenty of variations even within this, but if you choose any of these, you're going to avoid some of the more common pitfalls in the game. Let's start with the recruiting girl, because it's generally the most common choice. You get her turn 1, then turn 2, you get another one, and either a trainer or an errand boy. Turn 3, you're going to get the first to hire 3 people in 1 turn milestone, and that's going to give you a couple management trainees. Now, you've got plenty of space to play all the low-level employees that you want, at least in the early game. So the goal here is to get so many employees that you'll be able to respond to any situation that arises. And as soon as you start getting any money, you should start training at least a little bit. If possible, you should also try and get the first to pay $20 in salaries milestone, because that's going to allow you to chain your trainers. And by now, you probably are going to have a couple of them, so that's going to be pretty good. And for this strategy, you generally want to use the $200 reserve card because it's best suited for a mid-length game. This strategy is good regardless, but especially if a couple other players are already going the recruiting girl route. This starts with a trainer. Then on the next turn, you hire and train a management trainee into a junior VP. The goal is to make them into a coach or ideally a guru. You will have gotten the first to train someone milestone, so you won't need to worry about salaries for a little while. And once you fast track the training process, you can immediately get airplane or radio ads, Zeppelin pilots, or chefs, which allows you to flood the market and keep up with the demand, especially if you can lower prices enough to sell to all the houses you market to. This strategy is a slow burn though, so you should definitely play the $300 reserve card. This opening is aggressive and straightforward, but it isn't always foolproof. You really want to have 2 houses that are close enough together that you can get them both with 1 billboard. And ideally, you also want to have a lot of drinks on the map. Now, if that's the case, start with an errand boy and then get a marketing trainee. Your errand boy will make a drink on turn 2, and then you're going to throw it away, but that's fine because it gets you the freezer, and also you've now upgraded all of your drink buyers. The marketing trainee will put out a billboard that will, again, hopefully, market to 2 different houses. Your errand boy will make a couple drinks to sell to both of those houses, and you're going to get some early game cash. The goal here is to make money quickly and reliably, so you need to play the $100 reserve card. But here's the thing. The other players are going to catch up to you. They're going to catch up to you in quality and quantity, so either don't forget to get at least 1 trainer and or recruiting girl to maybe keep up, or keep your prices competitive so that you can always sell what you make, and hopefully you ride your early game lead until the end. Now, these opening strategies are going to help you get started, but the real skill is in reading the state of the game and adapting to what your opponents are doing. And the unfortunate reality is that it is entirely possible for players to get so far ahead that you can't ever catch up. So you need to see what they're aiming for before they get there. Now, I wish I had a magic bullet for this, but the fact is that experienced players are probably just going to be better than you at this game. I mean, that seems to be the designer's intent. So just try to watch what they're doing and figure out if that's something that you need to or are even able to adapt to. If so, you might want to pivot. If not, just try to keep going with your original strategy and try to fit it into whatever else is happening. And those are my top 5 beginner strategy tips for Food Chain Magnate. I hope they help you avoid feeling completely outmatched on your first few games. Or if you're an expert and you've got some beginner strategy tips that you think would be really helpful, please leave them in the comments below. Or if you're a beginner, go check out the comments because my viewers tend to be a lot smarter than I am about this kind of stuff. So there's some good stuff in there. Now, if you like videos like this and you want to see them a month before anybody else, well, hey, that's exactly what my Patreon backers get to do. They also get to vote on what games I teach. They get a monthly newsletter, stuff like that. So if that sounds interesting, head on over, consider pledging a buck or two. Pledging a buck or two. Come on, pledge a buck or two. Okay. Well, either way, though, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.